So the Victorian government just posted this bill, the Anti-Discrimination and Vilification Bill.
Have you ever heard of the Anti-vilification and Discrimination Bill?
Nope.
No.
I've probably heard of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You have?
I have.
They've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and after a synagogue got burnt down, they finally had the justification and social backing they needed in order to submit the bill.
How would you feel about a country that was trying to implement a bill to restrict people's right to protest? Yeah, you think of America? Good
Yep.
thing, bad thing?
Bad thing.
Probably bad because they're stopping you from doing something.
Yeah?
Bad, I suppose. Yeah.
Bad?
I am not for it at all because I'm actually looking at trying to organise one myself.
The media has been reporting that the new laws will ban masks, facial coverings, rope chains and glue at future protests.
Victoria will ban protests at places of worship and also outlaw terrorist flags, face masks and balaclavas.
But if you read the bill, those words aren't mentioned at all. So whoever is telling Sky News that masks will be banned unless you have a religious or medical exemption is intentionally deceiving the media and subsequently all of us. Not to mention, literally anybody can wear a mask for religious or medical reasons. How can you prove otherwise?
Should a government have that kind of power to restrict your right to protest?
No.
No?
Up to a point, if there's any destruction or violence or hatred.
Not in a democratic country.
No, because you pay taxes and stuff.
Yeah.
But this isn't even the first time a bill like this has been passed. The UK passed laws just like this back in 1936 for basically the same reasons. Fascists were tormenting Jews and immigrants on the streets of Cable. And do you want to know what happened?
Well, they would have bent it according to their own political motives, whoever was in government at the time. Their own political aspirations would have had an influence over that law. So depending on where it was, it would either get harsher or more lax, I suppose.
That's exactly correct. In the 1940s, they used it against anti-fascist civil rights protesters in the 1960s, environmental protests in the 1980s under Margaret Thatcher, racial protests in the 1990s. Just depended on who was in charge at the time as to whether they liked the protest or not.
Yeah.
Subsequent governments used these anti-protest laws to target their political opponents, and the new updated and expanded laws have police going around to people's houses for non-crimes.
Two Essex constables, and the one on the left said something about a non-crime hate incident.
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested.
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take
and-
you back to the police station.
Right.
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Where you post something that causes gross offence or of a menacing character which causes a person anxiety.
The bill does, however, mention 8 different protected attributes, and you'll be committing an offence if your conduct is likely to incite hatred, contempt, revulsion, or ridicule of another person or group. And honestly, I think they're trying to ban negative feelings. You can't throw an insult without attempting to ridicule or incite contempt. For instance, if I was to say the Premier of Victoria, Jacinta Allen, was a stupid fascist who needs to read a history book and take a minor course in public choice economics, I'd be violating the law, even though all of that is true. Another example would be if you are the Matilda soccer player, Sam Kerr, and you call a British cop a stupid white bastard. Woohoo! Now you've used a racial slur. That'll get you 5 years in a level 6 prison. The same goes for Lydia Thorpe.
Any black man that stands with a white little like that, you can all get too.
Good thing this ban won't apply retroactively, or there would be a lot of Labour voters getting thrown in prison. Maybe this bill isn't so bad. But I reckon the weirdest part of this bill is 195p. It's irrelevant whether you are incorrect about a protected attribute. So calling someone gay if they're not gay is against the law. It's also against the law to call someone gay if they are gay. Nobody talk to anybody. That's the only way to be safe. The courts are going to be clogged because even if your neighbours hear you in your own backyard, that's now considered in public. Honestly, nowhere is safe. But they've got the solution for the court clogging problem, a tribunal. The tribunal can take care of your matter if you are willing to publish an apology, that's compelled speech, undergo a training program, that's a re-education camp, or remove your online material. That hasn't even got anything to do with public protests, but it is a removal of free speech. It's pretty clear from my soon-to-be illegal, sarcastic demeanour that I think this law is a terrible law that should never have been passed in the UK, France, Germany, Russia, or submitted to the Victoria state government. But that's just my bias. If you think otherwise, tell me why, and I promise I'll take a deep breath before I reply. If you want to vote for a party that will oppose stupid bills like this, then vote for one of these guys. If you think the good guys are the ones suppressing free speech and banning protests, then keep voting for these guys. The bill will be voted on in the coming weeks of the new year, so you can still tell Jacinta how you really feel about it before your mean words become illegal. If you learned something, like and subscribe, share the video so that people can become aware of laws like this and cast better votes in the polling booth. But remember, you were born free.